Edward's wife often slapped him, and he lived like this for 29 years. Edward had stopped resisting long ago. Whenever his wife picked up an empty coffee cup, Edward would immediately go and make hot coffee for her. Grace had grown used to Edward's caring nature. She believed that no matter how she treated him, Edward would never leave her. Edward was a high school teacher. Only at school could he truly smile from the heart. Returning home was the most painful part of his day. And this wasn't true only for Edward. His son Jamie was also troubled by his controlling mother. At every family meeting, Grace was the only one who spoke, while Edward and Jamie sat silently. This continued until their 29th wedding anniversary arrived. Grace was expecting some kind of surprise, but what Edward gave her was a shock. He brought up the idea of divorce. At first, Grace thought he was joking, but when Edward looked straight into her eyes and said in a very serious voice that he had fallen in love with someone else, Grace realized he was not joking. Even then, she continued trying to assert her dominance. But this time, Edward was not going to endure it. He quickly packed his belongings, called his girlfriend, and within minutes, she arrived to pick him up. Only after Edward left did Grace realize how important he had been in her life. She began to feel as if he were still living in the same house. She even asked Jamie to persuade Edward to come back, but Jamie refused. He knew that his father's leaving was the right decision. Perhaps he should have left much earlier. Grace never expected that even her own son would distance himself from her. Then she began to reflect on herself, wondering if she truly had made mistakes. She adopted a dog and named it Edward, showering it with complete care and affection. Watching his mother slowly change, Jamie finally found some peace. On the day the divorce papers were signed, Grace was still holding on to the hope that Edward might change his mind. But when she found out that Edward had given up all his property, she finally understood that he was never coming back. He preferred to leave everything behind rather than spend even one more day with her. Later, Grace started working at a helpline where she listened to people's emotional struggles. While listening to others' stories, she slowly began to heal her own wounds as well. One day, she went to Edward's new house. She wanted to see whether he was truly happy without her. As soon as she entered, Edward panicked. He thought she had come to hurt him again. Just then, his girlfriend came out of the kitchen. The moment Grace saw her, she froze. Until then, Grace believed that Edward's new relationship was merely an excuse to escape marriage. But in that moment, the truth became clear to her. She gave up the idea of bringing him back. Slowly, she learned to live alone, and Edward no longer had to endure violence. In the end, he had finally found someone who could make coffee for him. If you love your parents, then like the video and subscribe.